Hey, everybody, welcome to Matt Man, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarian. I'm joined by the chosen one himself, Rich Stambolian.
Oh, what's up, my Gentile? How you doing?
What's going on? Who are you, Joey Coco Diaz?
Joey Coco Diaz. Why do you keep bringing up Joey Coco Diaz? Is it because you think he's Coco's dad?
He's Coco's dad, dude. Coco made some more masks. Did you see? Did I show you these? He made some more. This is for
you showed me the sapphire one last week.
Yeah.
That one looks really cool. You're gonna make the ladies wear it?
I'm gonna wear it. That's how I'm gonna walk around town.
Let me tell you something. You know what I do when I go to a strip club?
What do you do?
I politely ask the girls to take their shirts off like John Cena. You know how he shoves his hand into his shirt to pull it off? That's what I do. I go, sweetheart, can you please take your shirt off like John Cena?
Then they go,
who's John Cena? And then I pull out YouTube highlights of John Cena.
Is that? And you just sit there and you watch John Cena's greatest matches? It's him and Batista over and over again.
I don't know if I'm doing strip clubs right.
No, by $20, it's like 20 a song, right? Isn't it 20 a song? So you just give her a 20. He's like, listen, 3-minute clip. That's all we're going to watch right now.
Can you just watch John Cena highlights with me, please?
I'm willing to bet. I'll tell you the story off the air. I got a funny story, actually. Guys, this show's all about professional wrestling, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the terrible, and everything else in between. Royal Rumble season is here. There's a lot of news happening. I want to go into this straight ahead. Rich, you want to go right into the news?
Well, do you want to start up top with the
terrible news?
The terrible big story of the week. Unfortunately, Jay Briscoe had passed away very tragically earlier in the week. Our thoughts go out to his family. Very sad. Yeah, man. It
was a straight-on collision. Somebody swerved into his lane, allegedly. According to the police report, he passed away. The other driver passed away. His daughters were in the car. Luckily, wearing their seatbelts. In the hospital, critical condition. They've had surgery. This is terrible. I mean, on every level, terrible. I believe there's a GoFundMe. We'll have it in our link for the notes. Just what a sad story. You never want to report things like this. I hate talking about things like this. A lot of other people did a much better job than we can here talking about this over the last couple of days. Sean Ross Sapp had a great show regarding this. Dave Meltzer also spoke about this. Brian Alvarez took questions on Observer Live, and he did a fantastic job discussing this. Just what a sad and terrible situation. Just terrible. There's a GoFundMe going on. I don't think it's a GoFundMe. I think it's something else. Give, Send, Go. It's givesendgo.com/ I'm going to spell it out. PUGHLOVE. That's givesendgo.com / PUGHLOVE. They've so far raised $193,000.
I should put it in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat room also. It's so tragic.
I'll even put it on the screen for a second.
There you go.
Very sad. He seemed like a really good dude. It's one of those. I think him as a personality was probably one of the most kayfabe things in the business in recent memory, where people thought he was a certain way, but the fact of the matter is, you don't know. And a lot of performers were putting out these heartfelt messages about what a great guy Jay Briscoe was, backstage with his family, with everybody who ever interacted with the guy. He always gave it his all.
So the second part of the story, AEW did a Ring of Honor tribute show at the end of Rampage. And during the show, I think a lot of people expected that there would be a lot of Jay Briscoe, talk and memorializing of him. And there really wasn't. There was the opening graphic, and also the wrestlers had, his name on their bands, on their arms. And we find out that the report is, allegedly, that Warner was against a full-blown tribute on TBS. Likely to have something, the same reason that the Briscoes were not allowed on TV. Instead, Tony recorded the special, and it's going to air free on Honor Club and Ring of Honor's YouTube. I'm very surprised by that move by Warner. Obviously, this is going based on the 2013 and the 2011 tweets. He apologized tremendously about it. He was always apologetic about it. Even up, I believe in March, he did an interview. In May, he did an interview where it came up, and he said, I'll always apologize about this. People change. And I find it so hypocritical that there are people that can apologize and people that can change their viewpoints on things, and they're still not forgiven. And yet there are people that run around with the same hypocrisy, and they will be forgiven, or they can't be forgiven. I find this bizarre, where someone said, hey, listen, dude, I was so wrong here. I was very wrong in what I said. Whether or not it's kayfabe or it's not kayfabe or who, I mean, just listen, people change over time. People learn. I'm not the same person that I was at 23 years old. I was going to say 10 years ago at 23. I'm not 23. I'm not 33. 10 years ago, 28 years old. You know what? I was still a dopey kid. 25 years old, I was even more of a dopey kid. And 20 years old, I'm an idiot. So the reality is you evolve as a human being, and it's great to see that the wrestling community came through for him. Obviously, there were some knuckleheads out there writing ridiculous things on social media, but for the most part, you know what? It's great to see that people are forgiving. But I guess Warner Media is not, because it's corporate. You know what? I'm going to say it. It's corporate bullshit at this point. It is. It has nothing to do with Jay Briscoe. It has everything to do with the risk factor of what would happen if an advertiser gets upset. Because some bozo will email the advertiser 50,000 times from a bot and say, how could you have this guy on TV? Just like they did with the pizza slicer incident. Fans, or I wouldn't say they're fans, emailed advertisers and Warner complaining about this. And you think about listen, dude, you don't like something, you don't like something. I get it. Why go out of your way to ruin something for somebody's life? I'll just leave it up to there. Jay Briscoe, 38 years old, 1984, my age. Terrible.
Wild, very sad, very tragic. Our heart goes out to everybody, and we know a lot of people that knew the guy. So our sympathies and condolences.
Yeah.
You know what? And we got to move on, as we do.
And here's the other side of things, right? We're talking about, bad moves and people and knuckleheads and the hypocrisy of sometimes people are forgiven, sometimes they're not. Vince McMahon. Let's talk about this, Rich.
Oh boy, like the ultimate unforgiven. This is one of those things, and this is like semi a personal editorial. I feel like it's one of those things where like karma has zero effect on certain people. You know what I mean? If you subscribe to karma, if you believe to karma. And I think, I've known a couple of guys who very much karma was not a thing, and Vince has escaped that. You know what I mean? Like, latest Vince McMahon news, he repeals the January WWE bylaw amendments, and a new lawsuit has been filed.
Yes. So he repealed the bylaw, stating that he needs the approval of any that he needed the approval of any action, which means he could do whatever he wants. So essentially, the investors really have no say. They really didn't to begin with. It wasn't like they had this power to begin with. I think he just made it more certain here. Also, the Wall Street Journal reported, and this is the Rita Chatterton incident, right? The alleged 1986 rape, where he claimed innocence on this. I believe she was paid out I guess she was paid out to go away by WWE. It came back up with all the other allegations, and it seems like Vince McMahon has settled a lawsuit now for millions with Rita Chatterton. Yeah. I believe his attorney came out and said, who was the attorney? Is it, what's his name?
Oh, I don't know who his attorney is.
Hold on. Who was he? Was it Jerry McDivitt? Was it Jerry McDivitt? Let me see.
Yes, it was Jerry McDevitt.
It was Jerry McDevitt. Okay. Interesting that Jerry McDevitt was not speaking about any of the other allegations, but the Rita Chatterton situation he spoke about because he was around for that. He still claims his innocence, and he says this was just to alleviate the legal expense of having to fight this in court.
Effing wild.
Wild.
Again,
so
the guy escapes karma at every turn.
Listen, he has a lot of money. That's really unfortunately, but fortunately for him, things kind of fall into place like that. I don't.
Andrew, I got a question for you.
Yeah. How many NDAs do I have?
Do you think white guys with a lot of money get away with everything?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know. You think I don't know about that. Possibly.
Because somebody should look into that.
Yeah.
So stupid.
So stupid, really. But this is just another thing moving forward. My big question is, how is the Wall Street Journal getting this information so quickly?
That's what I'm saying, man. I think. Listen, we all know that there's leaks and informants, quote unquote, in WWE, or guys who just don't care that give out information. But who is that guy, or lady? Who is that man or woman in Wall Street Journal who's getting all this dirt?
Yeah. I think it's a lot of people contacting them.
You know what it might be also? It might just be growing up with friends in media and being creative. You know what I mean? Where you reach a certain age, you reach a certain point in your career, and let's say you have close friends that are parallel to
so you talk
your age group, and you talk to them. Like, you have buddies who are your age who give you dirt. I have friends that are my age that work in a variety of different professions. You know how the sausage is made. So who knows if that's the case with this?
Yeah, I don't know. I have theories as to how they're getting this, but I don't know for certain. Nick Khan did an interview on the Bill Simmons show. He defended Vince coming back. He said that his viewpoint that McMahon would always eventually come back. I think a lot of people within that company thought that way too. It was always looming there. He also said that he doesn't get involved in the family side of the business, but thinks Steph could return eventually. He also called Tony Khan a kid. I think he's only like 6 or 8 years older than Tony, which is
hysterical. He was like, nice going, kid.
He's a nice kid. Yeah.
He's a nice kid. You know what? We met Nick Khan. Very soft hands.
Very nice. Yeah, nice handshake. Nice guy. No problem with Nick. Listen, he's the CEO. He's a soldier in the company. What the hell do you want him to say? You want him to go and do who expected him to turn around and be like, yeah, nobody wants this bozo back. What's your expectation here?
Imagine if his corporate response was, that guy, F him.
Yeah, I mean that's not the stance. Also, listen, a lot of shakeups. I don't know if this is in the news, but shakeups on the corporate side of WWE also happening right now.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I don't know if MG put it in the notes or not. So go into this story here about Dwayne.
So before I want to do a little upkeep in the chat before we get into Dwayne. We got $1.99 from Batcher 3000. Reach for the sky, sweet babies. Very nice. Tim Anger, another $20. Good morning, my wrestling family. Love and miss you all. Miss you too, Tim. And it looks like you got another challenge in the chat room from Issa. Fight me, Zarian.
Yo, you know what I'm doing now? All I do is I go on our TikTok and I just write "fight me" on every one of her videos.
She's gonna scratch her eyes out.
She is. She's just gonna do one poke and that's it. I'm very frail, dude. I can't even walk right now. My toes all fucked up.
I know. You got that King's disease going on.
I got the King's disease happening. I'm very frail, Lisa. You got to be. You can't hit me really hard.
I think the word's delicate.
Fragile. Fragile. Is the word. Fragile.
You came in a box. Can't tip you over. Can't even hug you.
You can't even hug me. No, I'm made out of glass. My bones are all out of glass at this point.
You're like the Sam Jackson in the M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Do you like his movies?
I do and I don't. I mean, like, I like the idea of them, but I think the follow through is always terrible.
Yeah, the ideas are always great. You're absolutely right.
I'm a big fan of Signs. I love Signs.
Signs was
great
good.
Movie. And I want to see this new one with Batista, where Batista looks like a real jacked Bob Hoskins.
Okay, what does he do? What's the story?
I forgot that it's like a cabin in the woods. It's something about a cabin in the woods, and Batista shows up. I'll look it up right now. It looks like a lot of fun. It's called Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin. Okay.
And it seems like these people invade a cabin, and they say like, "Hey, we have to kill you." There's no reason given, but Batista, for my money, best wrestler turned actor.
You think so?
I think so.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in the Marvel Universe. He's had a pretty successful career. They're all superheroes. Isn't that interesting? The Rock's a superhero. Batista's a superhero. John Cena's a weirdo superhero.
Well, listen, instead of it makes sense, because if you're putting a normal man through like that training process, it's different than getting a guy who's already out of the box, like muscular.
Yeah.
Right?
Hulk Hogan's possibly becoming a Scientologist.
Brother, I'm waiting for Xenu.
Brother, I'm going to strap that rocket. I'm going to go body slam Xenu. You know what's going to happen? All those Andre stories are going to turn into Xenu now. I can't wait.
You think Andre Xenu? That'd be awesome.
I can't wait till he's like, yeah, L. Ron Hubbard asked me to become Xenu 25 years ago,
Brother, let me tell you something. I got a 9-inch Xenu.
but Terry Bollea, a normal size Xenu.
5-inch normal size sad Xenu. I got a sad Xenu down there, brother.
In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, this is interesting. Dave stated that The Rock stated that he doesn't think he's going to be in ring shape in time to main event a match with Roman Reigns. Now, I don't know, man. You believe this?
I don't know, man. I think being in shape and being in ring shape are two different things.
Two different.
You never know, man. Plus, this guy travels around with like an 18-wheeler full of like dumbbells, but not a ring.
I mean, listen, you've had 2 years to make this happen. Okay? You're in LA.
Yeah.
You got a Hall of Fame in LA. Great time to put him in the Hall of Fame. Great time for him to do something with Roman. It is, if this doesn't happen, right? This would be the greatest missed opportunity that this company has ever seen.
Exactly.
Bigger. Is it as bigger than Goldberg and Austin?
Yeah.
I think it is bigger. Bigger because Austin and Goldberg never had the mainstream crossover that The Rock has had. I mean, this guy is the biggest movie star, of today. He has a successful show. He's running the XFL. He has multiple brands. He's a conglomerate on his own. This would be a bigger missed opportunity. I was comparing it, and yesterday I was thinking about this, right? There's been a couple of these. One, Hogan, Flair, title versus title, right?
Mm-hmm.
A unification match. That's a missed opportunity. That's a major missed opportunity
100%.
in 91, 92. You also have Rock, you have Hogan and Austin, which really, to me, that doesn't kind of match up as much as Goldberg and Austin. But you don't get this opportunity too often where his cousin, The Rock, one of the biggest names in pro wrestling, his cousin is now the champion for like a billion days, and he's doing this family, angle.
Yes.
And you don't have the opportunity to do this. Obviously it has everything to do with Dwayne's schedule, but this would be a tragic missed opportunity.
So here's what's going to happen. You ready?
Yes.
The Rock is going to host WrestleMania. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame. The show is going to end with him giving.
In your opinion.
In my opinion. Sorry, guys. In my opinion, because we don't want to get misquoted here, like we always do.
Yeah.
So The Rock will host WrestleMania this year, in my opinion. And then the show is going to end with him doing the rock bottom to Roman, and then it's going to be the 1 year build.
I mean, I don't want to wait another year. You know what I mean? Like,
would you be done? Would you be done if you're like, fuck, I gotta wait a whole damn year?
36 months? It's like a fucking lease.
Or SummerSlam.
You could, but I don't know, man. in talking to everybody at WWE, I think everybody wants this to happen. A lot of people thought it was happening, people I spoke to, but there is a WWE static answer about Dwayne every time. And this is their company answer. If Dwayne wants to do it, we'll do whatever he wants.
Right.
That's always the answer here. Could it be that, maybe The Rock's team, his managers and agents and attorneys said, oh, maybe you should stay away from this WWE thing because of the Vince McMahon and the Saudi connection. It's bad for business. It's bad for your look. It's bad for your PR. I don't know. To me, this could still be a swerve. I'm leaning towards that because I think everybody knows the importance of making this work. I also think he knows, listen, at the end of the day, it's your family. I don't know how super close they are, but he's a very giving man. The Rock.
Yeah.
You could say whatever you want about him, but he's very giving, especially to his family. You have this opportunity to make your cousin one of the biggest names in the business. He will go down as one of the biggest names ever, for sure. But this will solidify him in that special tier. You want to give him that opportunity.
I think it should be the guy who plays Young Rock to challenge Roman.
Can you imagine if that's the fucking swerve?
That's the main event.
It's like a bootleg Rock that comes out?
Like a fake Rock. Like he's so big that he can get a stand-in.
Did you ever see that fake wrestling show they had in India in the 90s? And it's like fake. No. It's like it's a fake Bret Hart. It's a fake Hulk Hogan. They're just like bootleg wrestlers that kind of look like him. Maybe you just bring one of those guys in.
So the window is closing on this, right?
I mean, the window's getting very closed on this. Unless, listen, they have to know their plan already. It's January. Right. You're not. At this point, I highly doubt there's still that carrot. Dwayne is dangling that carrot of maybe in front of WWE. They need to know right now. They have, it's not overnight that you get graphics ready and you get, promotional material ready. It's not like a 2-week project. It's more of a bureaucracy there. So it's not like, here's a great example, right? Rich, you do a graphic. You're like, hey, guys, what do you think of this? Let's use this. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's use it. It doesn't work like that there. It's like 15 different hands things go through.
Yeah. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but also everybody's pitching ideas. Everybody's, it's very hands-on, but at the same time, I think they can pull stuff out like last minute. I'm not saying this is going to be last minute, but if it does happen, I mean, there's rumors that this guy's going to show up on Monday. There's rumors that this guy's going to show up at Rumble. If you go from Rumble to Mania, you can create that much of a buzz because, like we say, The Rock is a walking buzz. He is like his walking estate. He's a walking skyscraper. He is the most electronic man.
He is the most electronic man in all of sports entertainment.
I think they can do it, like Rumble would be like the last opportunity, right?
Listen, I don't know if he'll be at Rumble. However, I'm pretty close to somebody in WWE, which you know who I'm talking about. And, they, we were shooting the shit, having a couple drinks. And he's like, he asked me if I'm going to, he or she, I'm gender neutral with my words here. They said, are you going to Rumble? I said, probably not. I'm not going, I'm not going to go down to the Alamo Dome for Rumble. He goes, I think you should try. You should try to go. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, you really should try to go. Every other time that's been said to me, something big has happened. So is it, I'm not saying The Rock. They didn't say The Rock, and they wouldn't tell me anyway. So that's the agreement we have because I'm a yenta sometimes. But it would be cool if Dwayne shows up. Probably not. But other surprises are happening, and we're hearing this because of the Cody reveal, right? That was their answer.
Right.
So, interesting stuff.
How do you feel about that Cody reveal?
Is it in the notes? I want to get to it. Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, when we go down Rumble, I want to get your opinion on that. Because there's more to go.
Sure.
I always really enjoy your fantasy booking for the Rumble because it's always fun. So I want to kind of go into it with that.
And I'm always right. I'm never wrong about anything I predict ever.
Never. Progress and ICW come from the end of their partnership with WWE Network. Nobody was watching it. I mean, that's really why.
Hey,
there was a licensing agreement. It wasn't worth doing. Mercedes Moné is now training at the New Japan LA dojo. She shared pictures of her locking up with Kushida. Very cool. So, Raw is mostly a setup show for next week's 30th anniversary, right?
Awesome.
So that's what we got. Highlights were Bloodline facing off with Judgment Day, including a rare Ripley staring down. A rare Ripley?
Take a shot. I think that's supposed to say Rhea Ripley staring down Solo Sikoa. Also
thank you.
That's 2 shots. That's three shots in one sentence. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we started fake playing this game last week or the week before, where whenever we read MG Geek, our producer, he takes the time to write these notes every week. But guess what? A lot of these things are misspelled. And I think he does it on purpose to screw up Andrew when he talks. But there's a drinking game. If you guys want to play along one week, that's up to you. You have to sign a waiver. Any misspelling that we come across, you have to take a shot. And we'd be 3 shots in right now.
Yeah. Cody video package where he announces his return at the Royal Rumble. You know, a lot of people were upset. They were saying, why isn't this a surprise? Why are you revealing this? I think because, listen, I think everybody expected Cody to be there. I think they want Cody to be the draw here. They want to tell the story of Cody's return rather than it just be a surprise. The rumors that there's so many other surprises that it doesn't matter.
And listen, no offense to anybody out there, if you have fucking eyeballs in your head, you would know that this dude would be coming back from Rumble. He got hurt 9 months ago, and they even said, hey, recovery's about 9 months. So put 2 and 2 together. 9 months, the Rumble, great, he's going to be in the Rumble. So what? They announced it. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm looking forward to it, dude. I love the Royal. It's my favorite show. There's no, I love WrestleMania, but I love the Royal Rumble even more. Always. That is my favorite type of match. I look forward to it every year. If there was an option, give you a great example. I went to Vegas during WrestleMania 30. Yeah, WrestleMania 30, I was in Vegas. I didn't even watch it. I watched it later. I could never do that for the Rumble.
No, you gotta
I need to watch the Rumble. I need to watch the Rumble. I have to have that volume on all the way up. I need to hear that buzzer over and over again. You know what bothers me about the 1992 Royal Rumble? That is my favorite Rumble of all time. No theme music when they come out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they just come out.
They did. I think 95, 96 would have been the first. 95 would have been the first year, I think. Could be wrong by a year. I believe, I could have hallucinated this, okay? I believe years ago, I don't know if, I think WWE put one out with the dubbed music in. I don't know if it exists. I don't know if I hallucinated this. I don't know if it was ayahuasca I was on, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, everybody's coming out with their themes. It's like it takes something away, and I think it's that excitement, and that's why it's so easy for a casual fan to get into wrestling when you watch the Royal Rumble. Very fun.
Plus, if I'm ever at a Rumble party, we always end up betting on the Rumble, and we have such a great system to do it. And for a good 12 years running, I did not win at all. The big pot at the end of the night, I finally won a couple of years ago, and it was a nice little surprise.
Every time that I've done it, Coco's won. He won.
Really?
He won $400 the first time and around $300 the second time.
He's rigging it. That's why.
He's rigging it. I got number 30.
Every year I got number 20. I got number 30.
Every year he gets the guy. Every year. Interesting stuff. So Cody video package. Omos returned to Raw and beat Elias. Bianca Belair called out Alexa Bliss, who was going to enter the Royal Rumble, but Bianca goaded her into
right.
Yeah, that is spelled right. Into a title match at Rumble, and then Uncle Howdy appeared. Bobby Lashley won a 6-man elimination match, earning a shot at the U.S. title. MVP and Omos came out teasing a repackaged Hurt Business. Okay.
Great.
All right, cool. Raw 30 next week. Raw XXX.
Triple X.
Triple X. United States Championship match, Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley. Raw Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest. Dominic Mysterio is my favorite person on that entire Raw roster at this point.
Behind the scenes and on screen.
Behind the scenes and on screen. This is they have stumbled accidentally onto something so amazing where he's a hardened criminal now. And he tells people that they can't last a second in jail. I thought that was funny that he said that to the Usos, you know?
I'm with it. I love it.
You got a steel cage match. Becky Lynch versus Bayley. You know what would be cool if they brought those big blue cage.
I want that blue cage back.
Isn't it weird? Because I hated that cage when it was like a thing. I was like, why don't they do the menacing actual, cage? Mm-hmm. I miss that old stupid blue cage. And it makes more sense if you're climbing.
Exactly. I also feel like that blue cage really lends itself to CTE for some reason.
It's very unforgiving.
It seems like it.
Yeah. The bloodline acknowledgement ceremony with Roman. So this might be interesting. Something might happen here. WWE legends appearing. The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Jerry Lawler, the Bella Twins, Road Dogg, X-Pac, Theodore Long, Ron Simmons. Playa. All right, and I'm sure more will be. Where's Damien Demento?
True. There's a lot of people missing from that list. Like you would
that
think
man slapped me in my face in my own fucking house and shattered my nose.
Yeah.
Bleeding everywhere.
He also gave you the gout.
And then he gave me the gout. And you know what? He drew a picture of me as an apology. I swear to God, there's a painting of me on my wall, and Damien Demento drew it.
It's a great picture. Damien Demento, Mick Foley, a lot of missing names from this list.
He also drew Coco. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah, there's a painting of Coco somewhere here, and he would call Coco the Yeti.
Are you sure
he looks like a Yeti?
Are you sure it wasn't a picture of a painting of Cornelius from Planet of the Apes?
I think that's what it was. Royal Rumble lineup as of right now. Undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. I'm curious what the hell they're doing with this. By the way, LA Knight is great. He's really good, man.
Yes.
He's really good. And he is, I mean this in a good way, okay? He's a relic of the past. He's very pro wrestlery.
Throwback.
And I like it. He's a throwback. I like it a lot. I very much enjoy LA Knight in that company. Men's Royal Rumble participants announced so far. Cody Rhodes, Omos, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, Austin Theory. So Austin Theory's doing double duty? No. Maybe no. He's wrestling next week. Santos Escobar, Kofi Kingston, and Ricochet. Women's Rumble, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Candice LeRae. Next week we'll talk about our predictions on who we think.
Absolutely.
AEW Dynamite. Let's go into this, Rich.
Dynamite, a lot of fun this week. Very tight show. Opened with the tribute to Jay Briscoe. Very, very tight, fun episode. The crowd was hot. Opening the show, Orange Cassidy defeating Jay Lethal to retain the All-Atlantic title. Jeff Jarrett, Santam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt come down through the crowd to take a front row seat. Dan Housen is there checking tickets, and for some reason they listen to Dan Housen.
Okay. By the way, I love Dan Housen.
Oh, he's great.
But do you? There are a lot of people that don't get it. It is so my alley, right? It's a little vampirish. It's very vaudeville.
Yes.
Oh, can I show you something? Look
what
I got. Look what I got.
Oh, it's Dracula.
How awesome is this?
Is that a Dracula figure or is that a Chuck Schumer figure?
It's a Chuck Schumer figure. My Pelosi's coming next. No, it's a Giuliani one. It's a Giuliani.
Oh, boy.
When I met him, you know what he said to me? He told me I'm a very handsome man.
Let me kiss your neck.
Let me kiss you on the lips. And
was he sweating brown? Was he sweating brown goo?
Yeah, right out of his eyeballs.
How the mighty have fallen.
Isn't that unbelievable? Listen, man, if that's how it works. With enough time, you become one of the most hated people in the world, even though you were beloved at one point. That's just how life is. I'm waiting for the day for everybody to turn on me. That's gonna happen. I know.
You know why Giuliani was on the street that day?
Why?
because he lives on the street.
He lives in a trash can. He's Oscar the Grouch.
At this point, I think he lives in a dumpster behind Donovan's on Bell Boulevard.
Hey, come over here. My son Andrew's coming.
Come on. He could have been your governor. That's my favorite Giuliani. Grasping at straws, Giuliani.
Dude, that day for that St. Patrick's Day parade, I got ambushed by Curtis Lewa, Giuliani, and Andrew. It was a trifecta. And then Vicky Palladino screeching from the back. It was fantastic.
Oh,
it was amazing.
I gotta use your bathroom.
I gotta use your bathroom.
Is that how it went down? Before the show, Andrew was telling us how what is she? She's
I don't want to go into it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Look it up.
She's from Whitestone. It's fantastic though. Fantastic story. I'll tell her one day.
I gotta use somebody's bathroom.
Nobody knows what we're talking about, dude. Not one person knows what we're talking about. Totally veered off. We were talking about Danhausen. See what he did? He cursed us with this.
Mm-hmm.
Danhausen's dressed as security, like you said, inspecting their tickets. So Sanjay couldn't get involved, right? That was a story. He would be fired. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a one-off. It's not always. Right? He can't. It was just for this match. After the match, Sanjay kept stopping his friends from beating everybody up, or else he'll be fired. Okay, I want to get your opinion on this match. Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin defeated the AEW Trios champions, the Young Bucks. Great match.
Great win. You know, like it wasn't like it was a good surprise finish. And listen, the Young Bucks don't need to win, right?
Yeah.
That's it. It was good. Good for them. Obviously, you know, I think plans for Top Flight are restarted now that Darius Martin is back. So this match probably could have happened like a year ago if the guy didn't get hurt, right? Or wasn't out with an injury.
Well, I think the smart thing here is, right? So Darius and Dante beat them. I think this is kind of telling, maybe it could lead to a story that Matt and Nick are now trios guys, so they're losing these tag matches, right?
It works, yeah.
I mean, listen, you have so many outs here. One, Nick and Matt, they were in this battle, the best of 7 series, for months, or whatever, a month and a half, whatever the hell it was, 2 months, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
You have that where they're just beat up. Also, you have the lack of tag matches. You're going from trios to tag. It's different. It's like going from a tag guy to a singles guy.
Right.
Now you've set up a trios match for the titles. So Darius and Dante, Top Flight, get a third person. And here comes Kenny Omega. And the Bucks and Omega beat him. You know, they destroy him. And now you told the story like, okay, you know what? They're good enough to beat Matt and Nick, but they weren't good enough to beat the trio. Great storytelling there. I love it.
It was a solid match too. It's very fun watching all these guys wrestling. They're kind of like the epitome of like that modern wrestling style, right?
Yeah, they are. Not my favorite style. You know what I like? Just tussling.
I know you like to do like rest holds and a lot of tussling.
I love that shit.
You like 45 bouncing off the rope shoulder tackles with the other guy no selling.
You know what I love? One of my favorite things is when Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior did the crisscross on the ropes, and they were so clunky at running. Like it like big guys doing that, I get it totally does something for me.
You don't want to see big guys run like that.
Oh, I love it. It's so awkward. I want to see Andre do that. You know, like Andre running the ropes at full speed. Fantastic.
You mean Xenu?
Xenu, yeah, Xenu. Ricky Starks defeated Jake Hager. Okay, Jake's over. Imagine. This guy's a WWE. He was a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's gotten so over with a stupid hat.
I think he's finally hit his stride, man. Like finally, finally, right? Like this is. Who knew that this was the Jake Hager we've all been waiting for?
Yeah,
the hat. Like he looks awesome. He looks like he's having a lot of fun. The promos are great. Ricky Starks is money. You know, there's no doubt about that. Jericho came out looking like if you told me on Wednesday night, hey, by the way, don't tell this to anybody, but Jericho is the Young Bucks' dad, I'd believe you.
Oh, me too. 100%. 100%. What else do we have?
This says the House Boys, but I think it was supposed to say the Ass Boys.
Yeah, the House Boys. What tag team? You know what? Here we go. What tag team is the House Boys?
I think MG hired a bunch of sexy gardeners that day, and he was looking out his window as he was typing up the notes and was like, "Oh, these House Boys, man."
The House Boys.
The Ass Boys. The Ass Boys attempt to cut a promo on the Acclaimed, but Max Caster gets the upper hand and he cuts a fun rap on them.
Yeah, they censored him. They censored
Good
bullshit
stuff, yeah.
at the end. Caster's great. I love that act. Turns out Billy Gunn starts telling his kids to start acting like adults, and then yells at the Acclaimed and tells them to act like champions. And next week he goes, "I got 2 words for you." Half the crowd chanted "suck it," half of them said "sesame," and he said "family therapy."
Sesame.
The Queens came out there. You heard that?
Listen,
the Queens came out in there. Sesame.
Oh, absolutely. Sesame. Absolutely. And listen, Billy Gunn's overall storyline is not over yet.
That guy's gigantic. Hangman Page had an awkward segment with Renee Paquette.
That was weird.
She was asking, they were talking about it, and then he turned around and he's like, "How is he doing? How is John doing?" And she's like, "Well, 10 years I've seen him. He's always been hurt, but he always comes back."
Mm-hmm.
Then he turned around and said, "Hey, can you tell him something for me?" And she's like, "Sure." And he's like, never mind. I'm curious about what that is. Could this be a turn? And then he said he has unfinished business he needed to clear up. So I guess he's getting involved with the Bucks again.
Yeah, sure. You want to see the Hung Bucks again? That would be a lot of fun. I don't know, man. I feel like I honestly not to poop on it, but I felt like that segment was kind of a dud.
I think they kind of wanted to show that it's awkward for Renee and him because, he's like a nice guy and he just beat the shit out of her husband to the point that, knocked him out. So it's going to be clunky. I think that they were trying to make it clunky, but it didn't really translate as great as I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. This was unbelievable.
Phenomenal match on free television. I would say 5-star match. Bryan Danielson beat Bandito. Bandito, fantastic.
Dave gave it 4.5.
Guys. Really?
Yeah, Dave gave it 4.5 stars.
I want to see these guys in a nice little series after Danielson is done with the whole thing. If Danielson beats MJF for that title, I would love to see Bandito as his first challenger.
Okay, couple things here. First of all, Bandito's known as like a high spot guy, right? He was doing mat wrestling with Danielson, and I loved that. It was so good because he's unbelievable, Bandito. 2, the only thing, too much taunting. He taunts
with
too much.
With this.
It's
stuff?
like too much. It's like every 3 minutes he's doing the bang bang bang. I like the bang bang bang. Are you into the bang bang bang? I'm into it.
Everybody, you know what it is? I love it, and I think it's such a cool visual. But every single effing person does it, and there should be a mandate where it's like, listen, you could do it, and you could do it, and that's it. Like Kenny does it, Moxley does it.
Everybody's doing the bang.
Everybody does the bang. Everybody has a cool leather jacket.
But Bandito makes sense.
Yeah, Bandito definitely makes sense.
He's a bandit.
He's supposed to be a bandit. Yeah,
fantastic. I was not that I haven't seen Bandito wrestle like this, but it's rare to see him wrestle like this. And Danielson is such a fucking masterful worker. I mean,
so good.
If there is, I say this all the time. If there is one favorite wrestler that I have, it's him. Like by today's era, like if you're like, okay, who's your favorite wrestler today? It's Danielson. Has to be.
He's awesome, man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's back.
And in the 90s, you know who was in the 90s for me? Bret Hart.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Bret was my favorite wrestler because he had long hair and he had those glasses.
Pink and black attack, man.
He did this, right? How could you not like a guy that does this?
I want you to start wearing pink and black.
You want me to like tights?
Anything pink. I want your color scheme from this day forward to be pink and black.
Pink and black. Hold on. Oh my God!
There you go,
dude.
Wow,
you're naked. I can see. I can see everybody. I can see all the viewers.
Those are the X-ray specs.
I can see Kyle Masterson. He's going commando.
Got those X-ray specs going on.
MG Geek. Oh my God, my eyes are on fire. He's our.
He's got 2 wangers.
That's the power that he had, Bret Hart. That's why he wore these things. Imagine all those poor little kids that he handed this to.
Oh, jeez. So after the Danielson match, MJF cut a very serious promo, very meta, very inside baseball going, listen, I'm done effing around here. Yeah. I got to do what needs to be done. And this leads to him interrupting a Brian Cage backstage interview, Brian Cage and Prince Nana. And he gives Brian Cage an envelope of money and says, hey, listen, I don't care if you beat Brian Danielson next week, just break his arm. You know, if you lose, I don't care. Do you want the money or not? And he slaps. This is great slap to Brian Cage.
Yeah.
And, you know, he puts him in like a choke. And it was, you kind of felt that tension. It felt very real at that moment. You know, it was like a very cool, like bad guy bit, you know, and I love
that. You're absolutely right. And it was a cool little backstage. But I love that he is so into Wolverine.
Yeah. Swolverine. I love it when I'm a very simple guy when it comes to this stuff. I love it when wrestling tells you, yo, these are the bad guys. You know, like these are definitely the bad guys. These are the good guys. It's great. You know, it works. MJF, fantastic heel. Would you say best heel in the business right now?
He's up there, dude. You know, like, and he's been getting a lot of shit the last couple of weeks. I think few people are turning on him because people are never content. But
yeah, well,
I mean, he's the epitome of an old school heel. He's in character constantly. He doesn't care, and he gets away with saying things that other heels won't because they show their personality. So,
right,
I think he could up there. Because he's not, but you know what though? Does he suffer from the cool heel issue as much as like Roman does? You know, like I don't look at Roman as a heel. I just think that he's just doing his thing.
You know, I think MJF will never suffer from that cool heel thing because I do feel like, this is not a knock on the guy. I feel like he's too much of a goof to be the cool
as a heel. Yeah, because he runs away and
you know, like I think he's just like honestly, like probably backstage in real life, he's probably like a happy-go-lucky, like goofy, friendly guy, you know? And I think that kind of stuff comes across on screen in a certain way, you know? So I don't think he'll ever cross the line into like spooky fingers, you know?
Yeah. Video played of Saraya chastising Shida backstage for throwing the kendo stick in the ring during the match with Tony last week. So this is, I mean, they're heels now, right? Like this is what's happening.
Oh yeah.
You have Tony Storm and Saraya. It's not the way that I remember it. It's not said the way you want to say it.
Well, it's not like Mariah. It's Saraya. You're saying it like Mariah.
Saraya. So sorry. Page was so simple, you know?
Wasn't it?
We've had a lot of pages in wrestling.
Hangman Page.
Adam Page. Diamond Dallas Page. Adam Page.
Ethan Page.
A lot of pages. Page.
There you go.
Tony Storm with Saraya defeated Willow Nightingale. After the match, Saraya attacked Willow until Ruby Soho made the save. While Shida is at ringside looking bewildered as to what was going on.
Which is a good swerve because, you know, we all thought that it was going to be Shida that was going to turn. But lo and behold, Tony Storm and Saraya make such a great heel team. And I think it's time. Finally, I think we've talked about this, where you're going to get a babyface Britt Baker, right? Because the writing was on the wall for that for a while.
Yeah. So, okay, here's a question. So if you're putting together this outsiders versus originals, right? Because that's what it's leading to. Is this the opening for Mercedes Moné, or does Ruby Soho turn and join Saraya and Tony Storm?
I think Ruby needs to turn at this point.
Ruby, you have to do something with her because you're not going to waste this woman bleeding all over the place last week for just the match. You have an opportunity. When is the last time people were talking about Ruby Soho? Listen, I think she's I enjoy Ruby. I think she's a unique look.
Yeah.
I think she's a unique act. There's a lot. I mean, you could do a ton with her. So she's. I could see her teaming with Toni Storm and Saraya and Paige, or is this an opening for Mercedes?
I honestly would be happy with Saraya, Toni Storm, and Ruby as a team, as like really gnarly heels, having a program with Jamie Hayter, Britt, and Sheeta. And then maybe the deciding factor would be Mercedes showing up.
Yeah.
But what's her stake in all this? Like what's the reason for her to show up?
I have a question for you guys.
Oh, hello. Yes.
Shoot.
Hi.
Hi,
do you
hello.
think this could lead to the big women's blood and guts match eventually?
I'd love to
Maybe
see
that's
that.
where they're going with this.
I'm sure they could do something.
By summertime, maybe if they do.
Yeah,
the
I'm sure
same
they could do
schedule
something
with
like
it.
that, and it's a unique match.
How did you feel
Especially for the
about Ruby getting wicked busted open on Friday night, Andrew?
I think it was a lot of blood, but
yeah,
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I hated seeing. I saw a lot of people, a ton of people
little
complaining about it. Yeah, they're like, oh my God, how could they do this? Like, okay, it's a weirdo performance art. That's literally what it is. There's different aspects to it.
It's also 11 o'clock on a Friday night.
It's also 11 o'clock on a Friday night. So listen, she's not doing this every week. It happened. It was interesting to see. Got a lot of people talking about it. So the message, it worked.
Yeah, my wife saw the highlights of it, and she was just like in the room and was like, you know what, good for them.
Yeah.
If like the dudes could do it, why not?
Jess does not like the blood. Not for her. Nah. She doesn't like it when the guys do it. She doesn't like it when the girls do it.
I thought she was a huge IWA deathmatch fan.
Yeah, she loves XPW. Loves it.
Didn't you get her the that CZW streaming service?
Yeah, and she never freaking used it. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Main event time.
Matches.
Oh God, that's not my thing. You want to talk about what's not my thing? That's not my thing. Darby Allin with Sting defeated Kushida to retain the TNT title. Highlights of the match were when Kushida countered a top rope drop kick with a cross arm breaker in midair. At the end of the match, you saw the LA Dojo guys trying to get Sting to throw the towel, but he threw it in the crowd instead. Darby hit the Last Supper for the win. All right, cool match.
Sting threw me off, man. That guy looked like he was a Planet of the Apes the other night.
Why? On Wednesday?
Because he did the black paint on the border of his face paint, and he had the hair freshly dyed and slick back.
Oh, I got it.
You know what I mean? So it kind of like, I was like, oh, this dude's looking like Cornelius right now. Just like that puffy, like Topic infused hair, right?
Oh, see,
you know what I'm talking about.
I taught you that word. I love that. I love that you used it. That made me so happy.
I love that. No, I disagree with you. You did not teach me that word.
I did not teach you Topic?
No, my cousin's a chemical engineer and she works with that shit all the time.
Oh, does she really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But in South America.
Wow.
So, yeah, she does like a lot of that, like developing new recipes for the stuff a lot of people use.
It's keratin.
Sorry,
fascinating.
Andrew.
It's hair fiber. I love that. By the way, I'm thinking about starting my own Topic brand. This is something I'm working on. Yes.
What are you going to call it?
On this. I don't know yet, but I have the vendors and everything ready.
Really?
Yeah. This is a project I've been working on. Little insight on my other businesses here. AEW Rampage for tonight. Daniel Garcia takes on Action Andretti. If he wins this match, he is Chris Jericho's tag partner. We hear from Eddie Kingston. Eddie is in a feud right now with, there's a major breakup happening. Brian Cage versus Willie Mack. Willie Mack on AEW TV. So apparently they had a great match on one of their dark tapings, and Tony thought put this on Rampage. Jade Cargill and Layla Gray are in tag team action. Jungle Boy Jack Perry takes on Ethan Page. Next week's Dynamite, so far the only thing announced is that Bryan Danielson will be facing Brian Cage. Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go into Q&As.
Are we ready for the Q&As?
We are ready. You know what, though? One thing. Did you see my tweet about the Powerslap shit? Okay.
Can we talk about Powerslap for 2 minutes, please?
Yeah, 2 minutes. Chris Nowinski put out a tweet. He's a fucking genius, this guy, okay?
Yes.
Chris Nowinski.
Yes.
He works very closely regarding CTE. Everybody knows the story here. A highly accredited human being that genuinely cares.
Yes.
He put out a tweet, and I wrote, listen, it's 2023. I think everybody in sports is very much aware of what CTE does. This is gross, in my opinion. So essentially, the Power Slap League is you stand there with your hands to your freaking side, and you get hit as hard as possible in the face, slapped. But, I mean, it's not like one of these.
No.
You're knocking the guy out. When you get knocked out, what do you think happens? It's brain trauma. Okay? I don't like it. It's not for me. Listen, you want to freaking watch it. I'm not going to poo-poo on your shit. But,
You're right.
It's bizarre to me that this is even, we have all this regulation, state athletic commissions. You can't do this. You can't do that. But because it's not a sport, you could slap the shit out of someone till they're concussed. You think bad takes in wrestling, okay? Okay? Like, you write something and then you get like the WWE guys or the AEW guys telling you you're a shill. That is nothing compared to these everyday simpletons that are like, you're a wrestling reporter and you're talking about CTE when your industry has people dying of head. I'm like, okay, first of all, wrestling isn't real, right? It's performance art. And there are injuries that happen in performance art. But there is no scenario in 2023 in wrestling where the guy is the purpose of the opponent is to give you as much head trauma as possible to knock you out. Boxing. You could defend yourself in boxing. MMA, you could defend yourself. Wrestling, even if someone shoots on you, you defend yourself. There's no defense. You're just standing there and you're getting slapped. I don't care if you fucking like it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's a non-story for me. I can't begin to tell you how many bozos DM me with paragraphs worth of "you're an idiot."
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Half of those are just me, by the way.
I have that, and they're very poorly written. And, like, they're
I hired MG Geeks.
And I go, oh, my God. This is what normal people think like. This is like the bottom of the barrel. Like, this is the person watching cable TV. These are, like, the low-end fans of anything. I couldn't believe the amount of people. And nobody's getting the point. They're like, what do you mean CTE from a slap? I'm like, what do you think happens when you get knocked out? Right? And, listen, dude, I've had many concussions. It is not fun. It's gross. The way you feel is gross. It wasn't even a hot take that I had. I didn't think that this is like a controversial take that maybe, maybe we shouldn't be hitting each other like that with no possible defense or skill. These are normal people doing this. They're not people that train heavily on learning how to take a punch. There's a difference between someone that knows how to take it and someone that doesn't. I just found it so wild. So here we go. Again, you're standing on a moral high ground. It's still coming in. Like, it is the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life. I didn't even think it's a hot take. I thought it's like a normal thought process to have.
Listen, you should know better.
I should know better. I know. I'm so sorry. I should know better.
At this point, you should know better because, listen, this is, again, not for me. I had it on. I was trying to get some reading done, and it was like watching a car wreck. Like, you couldn't turn your eyes away because it's so bizarre. But at the end of the day, for me personally, it just makes me feel like we're headed towards that Idiocracy world. If you guys have never seen Idiocracy, the movie, please go and watch it. It's a Mike Judge movie. It's awesome. But that, I feel like it's like you're going in that direction. I'd rather watch bare knuckle boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know why? Because that's regulated. And you know, I don't. It's not the same as unprotected. That's my problem with it. I don't care if you slapping each other. I don't care. I really like. To me, it's a non-event. Like, watch whatever you want to watch, but it's not my deal. Like, so we're gonna sit here and knock each other out like that with no protection and unskilled people, like people that have no, like these aren't highly trained professional fighters that know how to take it. You build up your jaw and you know how to take the slap. These are just normal,
I will say that there is an art to delivering a good slap.
I love a good slap.
Right. There's an art to delivering a very good slap. Listen, I'm 6'2". I weigh about like 265, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't want to get hit by another 6'2", 265-pound dude. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Wild. All right, let's go.
Again, there's many layers to it, obviously. But that's the stage. Like we don't. Again, like typically, like we don't like deathmatch wrestling. It's just not for us. Like I think the gratuitous stuff is there's a time and a place for it, but this is just like bizarre. And also, I think their viewership they did like 300,000 people watching it too, which is nuts.
Yeah, 300,000, but it's going to plummet. I mean, that's not a good start at all.
Before we do the questions, there's a great one here from Cadillac Carson. When does Will Smith show up on Slap Fight?
All right.
Hysterical.
Let's go into Q&As, boys and girls. Submit your questions in the chat room. We'll do our best to answer them.
If you want to super chat us, your question will be answered first, and we appreciate all the super chats that we get. It funds our gambling addiction. Let's see what we got here. All right, we got $5 from Kyle Masters, friend of the show. Another Friday morning with the boys. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you,
Here's
Kyle.
one from Bachelor 3000. Cole versus MJF within the next 4 to 6 months. What do you think?
Cole versus MJF? Yeah, I think that's that 100%. I would see that match. That's a good match to have.
That makes sense. And if that's the payoff, Daniel Bryan gets screwed. Cole would be the ideal next guy, right?
Cole would have to be the next guy, yeah.
Plus, he's babyface now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a babyface.
This is one from Mike Awesome, $2. Thanks, Mike. Is cheesecake cake, pie, tart, or something else?
Oh, that's a great question. I love cheesecake. I love cheesecake. That is my favorite thing. I would say it's something else, but if I were to say anything, it would be more. Yeah, it is a cake, right?
It's a cake.
It's a cake. It's not a tart for sure. What's your favorite cheesecake?
Oh, strawberry.
New York strawberry. New York style strawberry cheesecake.
Yeah, 100%.
I love a good Italian cheesecake too.
Yeah, I can't mess with the sweets too much, but when I do, it's got to be good. And like, cheesecake is awesome.
Yeah,
and a nice cannoli too.
A nice cannoli.
Mm-hmm. What else we got here?
That was a great question. That's a question of the night so far.
Yeah, question of it's nighttime?
Yeah. It's not where you are?
Whoa. I think you're living in the black hole. You're living in the event horizon. This is from Thrashist. Who you got for Royal Rumble winter weekend? Any thoughts on the high ticket price demand for it?
Dude, that building is packed. They're gonna. There's gonna be a lot of demand. It's a record, not a record breaking, but it's gonna be. They're fine with the ticket sales. I got Cody. I don't know for the women's. Maybe Rhea should win the women's Rumble. I think Rhea should. But for the men's, I would go with Cody.
Yeah, for sure. Cody would be a no-brainer, and I'd be happy if that dude won.
So Mike Awesome says, but cakes typically don't have a crust. Yes, you know what? Then technically it would be a pie.
Interesting.
Thank you, Mike, for that cheesecake
Cakes don't have
conversation.
a crust.
Cakes don't have a crust, yeah.
I hope he's not betting on this.
Let me.
Modern cheesecake is not usually classified as an actual cake, despite the name.
Oh, thank
Compared
you.
to Boston cream pie, some people classify it as a tort due to the usage of many eggs.
Not a
which are
tart,
the
but a
sole
tort.
source of so interesting. It's delicious. We know that.
I love that we're talking about cheesecake.
We're not, man. Cheesecakes. Don't you want to go to French Workshop right now and get a big old slice of cheesecake?
Oh man, I would love it.
There's compelling evidence that it is a custard pie based on the overall structure, with the separate crust, the soft filling, and the absence of flour.
Very cool.
Other sources identify it as a flan or a tart. You know what? Cheesecake wins the Royal Rumble.
Cheesecake wins the Royal Rumble. That's who wins the Royal Rumble. Cheesecake.
This next one is from Matt Logan here. Hang on. It seems like these questions aren't loading. Andrew, are you going to Springsteen in New York and New Jersey?
I'm not a Springsteen guy.
Really? You
Is that
have?
not loading? Hold on.
Yeah. Don't you have an Springsteen album next year, or is that a Billy Joel album?
It's a Billy Joel album.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a Billy Joel guy.
John Alba, he's a Springsteen guy.
Oh, because he's a Jersey boy, right?
He's a Jersey boy, yeah. I'm not a Springsteen guy.
Guy still got it, man. That last Springsteen album was fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah, the last two were pretty good. He did one during the pandemic, which was great, and then the latest one was like it's very like holy shit, like dude still got it.
No, I'm a Billy Joel. This is where? Oh, you guys can't see it. I got a Billy Joel album right there.
This is from JJ Montgomery. Who do you guys think takes a huge leap in their career next year?
Oh, a leap for the better, a leap for the worst. Huge leap in their career next year. I would say, on AEW, I would go with. Oh, that's a great question. Huge leap. So we're gonna go with a guy that's not on the top. Actually, Andretti could work for them. They could do something with him.
Okay.
That's a great question. Who do you got?
Huge leap. I'm gonna go Adam Cole.
Okay. But I mean, yeah, okay. Adam Cole could have a huge leap in his career. Yeah.
Because he hasn't held any titles since his NXT championship, right?
Yeah.
And with the injury and everything, I think he's primed for a huge leap. I think Ricky Starks is primed for a huge leap. I think in WWE, we're going to be looking at Sammy.
Sammy Sammy for sure.
And Rhea Ripley for the ladies in WWE. And I think for the ladies in AEW, I'm going to say Saraya.
I got one for you. Montez
Go ahead. Oh, good one.
I think Montez takes a huge leap in his career.
Montez. Carmelo Hayes is another good one.
Yeah, another great one. Another great one.
This is from Pratik here. Who do you want to see, Bray Wyatt or Cody, win the Royal Rumble?
I don't want to see Bray win the Rumble. I don't want to see Bray. I think Bray's a good special attraction. Keep him that way, but Cody has to win it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or I mean, you could do. You know what? You could do something wacky. Double elimination between him and Seth, and then now you built up a Seth match again. Winner gets Roman.
That makes sense. I like that. That's pretty good. This is from Connor. With this Adam Cole face run, when Kyle O'Reilly comes back, would it be too soon to go back to that feud?
I don't think it'd be too soon when he comes back. I don't know when Kyle's coming back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan there is, but you could do something there. I think for Adam, he's gonna. I don't. You got to get him in that main positioning now. We're at that point. You got to figure it out because he was gone for so long. He's obviously a very liked act. He's a great wrestler. Now is the time.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something with him, you got to do it now.
100%. This is from Kyle. How would you book the Acclaimed losing the belts eventually, and to what team?
Oh man, who should beat them? I mean, you could do FTR beating them, or the Bucks beat them. The Bucks beat them. Then you set up the Acclaim match, the FTR match when they're ready to come back.
I would like them to have more of a gauntlet before they lose those belts. So I'd like them to take on the Lucha Bros. I'd like them to take on FTR. I'd like them to take on Jungle Hook. You know, as far as like who would beat them, I think they could have a amazing series of matches with Top Flight.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep it on the younger guys, sure, you could do them in Top Flight.
Yeah, I feel like the tag belts should be on the younger guys for the next year.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's it elevates them, you know, and that's the key here. You got to elevate the younger stars.
Here's one from Batcher 3000. I think that Dawkins has been outshining Ford. That's a good point, but I think
been
Dawkins,
a little bit.
I think Dawkins sees the writing on the wall.
I hate his pants. Can I tell you that?
You know what I
hate
mean?
Dawkins' pants. He needs new gear.
You don't like shorts?
I don't like the shorts. No.
I would totally be a shorts guy if I wrestled. I'd like Samoa Joe's wrestling outfit. I would completely.
But those are different shorts. Those are fine. I don't like the Kevin Owens shorts. You know what Kevin Owens needs to wear? Just undies.
Shorts.
Undies.
Ooh, imagine if he became an undie guy.
Yeah, no shirt, no knee pads, no elbow pads, just undies and short boots.
Would you be an undie guy?
I would be an undie guy, or I would be a Muay Thai shorts guy.
I've never seen your legs.
I have beautiful legs. My legs are unbelievable. I have great thighs, dude. My thighs are amazing. Great calves.
Is that why you don't show them? Is that why you don't show your legs off?
No, only when you pay me. You gotta pay. You gotta pay to see these.
Only when you pay me, sister.
I got a good butt. I got a good legs. I got great. I don't have good feet.
I got a good butt. Got a good butt. All right. This is from BC Knight. With Saraya turning heel already, is her return a letdown or let it play out?
Let it play out. Yeah, let it play out.
Yeah, let it play out. I like her as a heel. Big time. And I think, you know, like we were saying before, if they can get Ruby, if it's Ruby, Tony Storm, and Saraya as a heel team, Maron. That's good stuff right there. This is from Thrashist. Where do you see FTR going this year, and what do you see them accomplishing?
I think them and the Bucks need to have a series of matches.
FTR versus everybody. I think that's in the cards. Up until this Vince stuff, I would have said that they are definitely WWE bound, but I don't know about that now.
Yeah. He actually said recently, that's Dak said recently that he didn't think he's going to have to rethink it now that he's back. But and they're going to be off for a minute. They took some time off, so they might not be back.
Dude, they treated these guys like bozos on that main roster. Total bozos.
Weren't they trying to make them bozos?
They were going to make them into bozos, yeah. They were shaving each other's backs in the shower.
Vince was dressed him like an Aladdin.
Yeah, they were going to wear Aladdin pants.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I do a Sabu gimmick. Maybe that's what I do.
Oh, puffy. So you're going puffy pants.
Maybe I do puffy pants. Maybe I do a Sheik gimmick. I could do that. I
think you'd look
menacing foreign heel.
Yeah, I think you'd look great in puffy pants.
Do one of these. Do the Persian clubs.
Let's see what else we got. There's $1.99 from Matt Logan. This is I think Matt Logan is secretly Bruce Springsteen. Look at that avatar.
It is Bruce. Yeah, look at that avatar.
I've been watching this show forever, boys. Saraya has been a failure so far in the ring.
I mean, you got to look at it this way, right? She didn't wrestle for a number of years. She had a career-ending injury. The style of women's wrestling has shifted also. She's getting there. She you know, yeah. I didn't think CM Punk had a great match with Darby Allin his first match. You know, no. I think he worked very hard, but, you know, you got to... It's not like getting on a bicycle. It's really not. Everybody that you talk to that's wrestled, you know, that I know that took breaks from wrestling, it's hard. Your body stiffens up.
I think there's unfortunately like some kind of like comparison with these injuries because, you know, if you look at like the Daniel Bryan return and the Edge return and the CM Punk return, you're like, yeah, these guys didn't miss a step, right? Listen, apples and oranges. It depends on what kind of person you are. Depends, you know, like you don't like imagine saying, hey, I want to come back to the business where I throw my face into the ground every night, you know? Like,
well, here's the other thing, right? Danielson never took extended time off. Okay?
No, he was always around it.
He was always around it. Edge, yeah, he took extended time off, but his style changed also. And like, even, what's amazing? There are people that when Edge came back, they're like, yeah, I don't like it. He's boring.
Yeah.
Because
he had to work a different style.
It's a different style. It's a style that he always worked. And now the style has evolved. Wrestling has totally evolved. When you have guys like Kevin Owens doing, the shit that he does, it's a very different era in wrestling. So I appreciate different styles. I think for Saraya, I think her thing is, she just needs to get back on that and have more matches, and she'll be fine.
I think her working as a heel is a lot better too, because when you're a heel, you have more opportunities to just eye poke, back rakes, slow it down, just be nasty.
Yeah.
People forget that they flat out said when she came back, she was only going to wrestle once a month to start.
Yeah.
So I think people are expecting these stories to flow through matches more, and they're not, because she's not going to wrestle that much, especially for the first year or so.
Oh yeah, isn't Edge coming back also? Isn't he?
Yeah,
He'll be in that Rumble. Yeah, he'll be in that Rumble.
Oh, for sure. If he's not revealed to be Uncle Howdy and it's Bo Dallas, then sure, he's going to be in that Rumble.
Oh man, can you imagine?
That would be cool. I think that would be really cool. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right, we got 10 minutes, guys. This is from Cadillac Carson. Can you both wear the puffy shirt from Seinfeld on the next show?
I would love to get. If you buy it for me, I'll wear it.
Oh, guys, if you can find a XX puffy shirt for me, I'd wear that on the next show, especially because next week
I got a gift
I'll
for
be
you.
returning to the studio. Yeah.
I got a gift for you. You ready?
Go ahead. Yeah. I'm ready.
Oh, no.
This guy just left.
He just
Done.
got up.
Done for the day. Just got up and left.
His gift is just an empty chair.
I think he pooped his pants.
All right. Hold on. I got a gift for you.
Oh, God.
What's the gift?
Oh, this is for Rich. Nobody else will care about this, okay? You ready?
Oh boy.
Okay. It's an XL, but it's a really big XL.
Wow.
Do you have yours still or no?
I threw that shit out, man.
Dude, I just put this in OxyClean because it's been in my attic. This is a school that we went to. For people who don't know, I found all my shirts. How great is this shirt? I'm going to start rocking this thing.
You should start. I bet you if you rock that in the neighborhood, folks would stop you on the street.
Okay, Taylor's been wearing the old school one. She wears it to gymnastics. And the parents, you know how many parents are like, oh my God, I went to Lupakis.
Oh my God, I remember those guys.
Yeah, I remember those guys. It's Rich and Andrew from Mad Men.
Well, exactly. Exactly. You should get them to sponsor the show if they're still around.
Lupakis Martial Arts. Yeah, they're in the story. They're around. Very cool.
Let's see what else we got here. This is from Matt Logan, another $1.99. Andrew, chance AEW ends up on Fox.
0.
Yeah.
Sorry. I shouldn't say 0, but close to 0. I mean, listen. Anything can happen, right? They abandon AEW, they abandon SmackDown and they pick Dynamite. All right,
sure, why not? Right? Stranger Things, huh?
That show would not be the same show. I'll tell you that.
No, not at all. They'd get rid of Orange Cassidy.
No blood, no nothing.
No blood. This is from Everything Pro Wrestling. Percentage on CM Punk returning to AEW as of today.
Listen, this is my opinion. In my opinion alone, I think it's like a 60% chance.
60% coming back to AEW.
Yeah, I think it's a business decision. Okay, You're in a contract year. Warner loves that CM Punk is in that company. He's a major name that people recognize. If you were a wrestling fan and you were growing up, you recognize the name CM Punk. If you're in your 30s, you know CM Punk. If you're in your 20s, you know CM Punk. So, to me, it would be the best decision to get him back, especially mid-year when the contract talk is heating up. Now you could pop the rating. They're struggling to hit that 1 million. Punk returns. What happens to that number? I guarantee you, now you're over 1 million.
Yeah.
So the value that he brings, listen, and this is not your personal opinion. I'm not putting personal opinion. I'm saying strictly business. If you could make it work, you're going to try. If you can't make it work and he's extremely that difficult, then you tried at least. You can't make it work. But I think Tony understands the importance of having a top-tier name, recognizable name. He shouldn't be the world champion. Now you know that you can't put that title on him due to his issues. But that doesn't mean you don't have the ability to do something cool with him if the situation allows it. Now, will the Bucks want to work with him? Will Kenny want to work with him? I have no idea, and nobody knows. I'm going to be honest with you. None of us know the answer to this. I think there's only a handful of people that know the answer, and nobody's talking. But
yeah,
if you can make it work, and everybody becomes very, forgiving, Tony did something amazing here. So I would say, logically for business, you want him back, and you want him back this year before you sign that contract. I think people forget that the perception of having the top star like a CM Punk is more than having Kenny Omega in a main event to a guy that doesn't know who Kenny Omega really is.
Oh, for sure. You know? And also, if you want to fantasy book that situation and it happens soon, what better way to say MJF beats Bryan Danielson, right? You hear CM Punk's music. Boom, the guy returns. You get the continuation of that. Then you get Adam Cole showing up and saying, like, hey, you've been gone for months. You got to work your way back to the top. You get an Adam Cole CM Punk feud leading up to an MJF CM Punk feud. If you keep, I think maybe the solution is keeping the entities separate. You don't need to do Kenny and Punk or the Bucks and Punk. Just keep them separated, right?
Listen, there's so much you could do. I think this is so ridiculous that it went down the way that it did, but time is passing right now. Right? And that's what matters. And the more you wait to make a decision, the more likely you're going to make a logical decision. So now we're months away from this. We're months away from it happening. I know CM Punk's working out again. He's getting back into shape. So, when they sit down and talk, that's going to be the conversation, and they'll figure it out. If they can make it work, they're going to make it work. If not, then it's not going to work.
Yep.
Simple.
Let's see what else we got here. We got time for a couple more.
I have like two more. Let's do two more. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do two more. Okay. I'm trying to pick a good one. This is a good one. This is from Estilo Latino. What do you think of that new MLW TV contract with Reels? Lateral move? Downgrade from Bellin? Does it realistically matter?
I don't get Reels. BN, yeah, which was Al Jazeera Sports before, right? BN was Al Jazeera Sports.
I can't read.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of distribution Reels has. The only thing that they're really known for is that they have the that cop show, the live cop show. It was on Patrol Live, and then they stopped it when the protests began during the pandemic. They did not feel that it was appropriate, whatever network they were on. So they're on Reels now. It's a very popular show. But I have no way of watching any of these because I don't have Reels. So I don't know what kind of distribution Reels has. So most likely they're going to be syndicated online for the most viewership. But, they're trying. There's not a lot of places you could go. But that's great. They're on TV, so it's something.
Here's one from Lo-Fi Lit. Do you think Comcast buys Warner Brothers Discovery in the near future? What's the likelihood?
It is possible. I know Warner's suffering from serious financial issues. They're cutting left and right, but it would really rely on the regulators to approve something like that, and they're not too fond of it. You need to go through multiple SEC regulation, SEC approval, FAA. FCC approval, the
FAA approval, man. It's got to be up in the air.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know what they would do if that's the case. Do
we got time for one more?
Yeah, one more. Great question.
Let's see. BC Knight, The Rock is special guest ref enforcer for Cody versus Roman.
Okay. I mean, you can. I don't want to see it. I hate special guest referees and enforcers.
Yeah.
He would overpower the match, wouldn't he? Wouldn't
He would. Of course he
overpower the
would.
match?
Yeah,
So
of course he
big.
would. He's so big. He's a giant next to all of them. You know, that's one thing. I hate special guest referees. Hate it. I hate the way they count. Mick Foley was a good special. He did it all the time, but I hate how they count. It's a distraction to me. It doesn't work for me.
I always like Deshaun as the guest referee. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn?
Yeah.
With his sexy boy tights?
Yep. Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels' counts were always my favorite.
He would do that double thing, right? He would do like a double thing all the time.
He'd hit the mat and then point to the and then point to the ceiling, and then slowly hit the mat again and then point to the ceiling. For some reason that has always done it for me. Also, before we forget, this weekend is one of the last Muta matches. Muta, Sting, and Darby Allin wrestling in Noah on the
Very
22nd.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's on Sunday.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning, like super early.
Oh, by the way, little plug here, guys. Catalyst Wrestling, Rock the Bell House, live from Brooklyn. This is taking place at the Bell House in Brooklyn, New York. Tremendous card. The main event, Homicide versus Colby Carino, one of Colby's last matches on the Indies before he goes away somewhere. The rumors are he's going to WWE. I will be there. I will be at this show. I may not be at the entirety of the show, but I will be there at the show at the Bell House.
The Matmen are sponsoring the show as well.
Yes, we are an official sponsor of the show. If you're in the New York area, if you're in Brooklyn, go check it out. Very cool stuff. Matt Ryan puts this promotion together. He works very hard at it. They're always a lot of fun. I believe the bar opens. They have a bar there. It opens at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to be there at 2 o'clock for the bar.
You know it's serious when Andrew goes to Brooklyn, people.
You know it's serious when Andrew goes to Brooklyn. But I'm going, I'm taking my Uber Black. I'm taking my SUV there. I'm riding in style there. I'm not doing it in style.
He's gonna take the Uber Black there. He's gonna say, "Hey, listen, I'll give you an extra $30 if you just wait here for 10 minutes."
10 minutes, in and out.
Go in, have a quick drink, not say hi to anybody, just leave.
No, I think I'm filming something here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so far it's one of their best houses. I mean, this is going to be a packed show. Doors open at 3:30. Show begins at 4. $25 general admission, $30 VIP. I believe they have sold out on their VIP. Very cool stuff. I'm looking forward to this. This is a cool venue, man. The Bell House is a very cool venue in Brooklyn. And if you're in the area, come by. Come say hello.
Yeah, you should.
Give me, you know what I want? You know how, everybody does, the good brother handshake, the soft handshake? I don't want that. Give me, a wet handshake.
Cup his balls.
Cup my balls.
Cup Andrew's balls if you see
No,
him.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Both hands, though.
There's nothing, dude. I'm like a Ken doll. There's nothing there. I'm like a mannequin.
Run at Andrew with a wet hot dog tomorrow if you see him.
I think they might have hot dogs there. So I'll be in Brooklyn. So I'll see you guys in Brooklyn. And that's it, guys. We'll see you all next time. Take care.
Goodbye.